If you were going to hire someone for this job, you're looking at spending anywhere between $75 to $200. This video is here to save you all that money. Tools and costs, let's talk about it. Vice grip pliers, $5. Bowl, $1.50. Towel, $2. $10 for the kit. Do the math, carry the zero, $10 to $20 total. And that's not even if you have actually some of the items at the house already. All right, so let's get into it. Clearly the toilet is on the fritz. There's no water coming in or out. As you can see. Now, what I was trying to do is I did kind of manipulate the system, and I was pulling this lever up and it was triggering the machine or the valve to go ahead and shoot the water out, thinking that it's full. That stopped a few days ago, and so now it's just standing water, nothing's coming in. So all right, here's the actual toilet fill valve. I'm not going to use the flapper. I don't need one, but it does come with one. I'll have all the information of this one in the description. You can get it from Amazon. So the first thing I do is I go ahead and I hold the neck and I twist the base clockwise all the way up to the top. I do that because I want to make sure that it's basically at the very bottom. Then what I do is I turn this pin counterclockwise to push the what I call the buoy down. And again, I'm gonna have to readjust this later, but I just want it to trigger the water as soon as the water touches it. I want it to trigger so I know it's working. So again, you can always adjust that pin later. Here are the attachments and some of the seals. The red rubber one is going to be the first thing we use. You want to go ahead and turn it this way and go ahead and push it on through the base. It's going to take a little bit of maneuvering, but just kind of force it down. And then you want to do it as tight as possible. Nothing in between, just so because you don't want any water coming out from the toilet. And then you're going to take that plastic. I'm taking the plastic washer just to show you. Go ahead and get familiar with which way to turn, you know, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So clockwise, counterclockwise to loosen. And again, this is important because as soon as you have water involved, you don't want to be second guessing it on if it's tight or you're loosening it. So just go ahead and make sure you got that down. Now, this is just the tube. The most important thing, try to push as hard as possible. Nothing should be, you know, showing. None of the plastic piece. So make sure that tube is as tight, no airs in there, and that way you get a nice, smooth, powerful flush when you go and you get everything locked in. So that's done. Okay, this blue one I've had trouble with. This black one, I'm hoping this Fluidmaster, I think it's called, is gonna work good for me. So this particular toilet, the valve is kind of like a arrow. So I'm showing you the off is when it's to the right and on when it's up. So right now it's on, and I'm showing you the standing water. You don't want a lot of water in there. If you can have no water, that's even better. But this is where you put your bowl down. I'm showing you right now, you know, put your bowl down and get it as close, you know, under the area as possible. I'm turning it off so that as I get this loosened, the water won't fall. So for my toilet, I have a hard plastic, I would say a washer or nut. And so that's what I'm loosening. You can loosen it with your hands in most cases. It shouldn't be that tight. But then I'm gonna pull out my Stanley vice grip. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the lock nut, the plastic one, and I'm gonna start loosening that. And loosening is very slow. You don't wanna rush it because that water is gonna come out and you wanna avoid it being a whole gusher and having your whole back of your toilet flooded. So, you know, get to a point where you just loosen it enough to where you got a good drip going, and then go ahead and you can take it off. Check inside, make sure there's nothing blocking the hose. And then at that point, you can do a nice test, kind of test the water pressure. Mine is good. So we know that's not an issue. Thank goodness. That's one of the troubleshooting tips in here. Now time to remove the old unit. So we're taking the clip off and we're going to pull out that unit. you're going to be able to see that the rubber was faded on it. So it's probably already time unexpectedly for me to change it out anyway. Here's a new valve kit. So I'm going to go ahead and place it in. You can see kind of where I put it. I want the camera to kind of show you that I want to measure where the fill line is inside the toilet, so I know where to gauge that pin, because I got to reset that pin, because right now it's fairly low. As you can see, it's kind of low. So it does lift, but it is kind of low. So just kind of keep that in mind. Just twisting it like so will allow it to raise up that buoy. And again, as you can see, the height jumped a little bit more. So that's what you want to kind of do. So now I'm clipping in the Pelican lip. You want to let that tube, make sure it's going directly into the hole. When you clip it, it's on the outside of the lip, not the inside. So that way it's going into the hole. That tube is in the hole. All right, so here's the plastic washer. I'm going to apply it to the neck of the valve first. And so you want to make sure you look under your toilet area, and with your other hand, stick it inside and make sure it's actually straight and it's sitting in a position that you want before you get it all tightened. That's very important. And then once you do that, you can connect the hose to the bottom, the water valve to the bottom to your kit, so that it allows for that water to come through. With your hand, you can tighten it. I did grab my vice grips again because my hands were wet, and I just wanted to make sure that it just didn't have any air coming through. So that's all I was doing. You don't necessarily want it, too tight, because in case you want to have to do some more work on it, you want to be able to get back in it without any, real major issues. Okay, so here I'm showing you kind of the details, righty, tighty. Remember, just keep that in mind, just so you're twisting it the right way. Check and make sure everything has enough space. So everything can function properly. And the moment of truth, let's check it out. The crazy thing is, this is actually a stronger sound than my previous one at its best. So I definitely feel like this, I think it's Fluidmaster 2000 or whatever. I think it's a really good product, just by the force in which it allows for for that water to get through and still be controlled. So I'm kind of showing you the inside and how the water was able to kind of get a pretty speedy fill, and then just showing you the flush. And now this go around, I want to kind of look at the fill line and show you guys. It's not perfect, if I'm honest. It's maybe an inch away from the actual fill line, but it's right where the sticker is, which for me is fine. You could probably have adjusted the neck a little bit less from the bottom and gotten it pretty perfect, but I would have to take it apart and do that. So it's kind of a guessing game, but I'm fine with that. So video's pretty much over, guys, but I did want to give a quick bonus for anyone who has a few more minutes. My light wasn't working before I started this video. So if you have this light, this is how you change the bulb, because I didn't really know. Go ahead and on the tip, turn it counterclockwise, and it's going to come out in 3 parts. There's the bulb, the washer, and then the tip, which I'm showing you here. All right. The bulb, the washer, and the tip. And we probably got kids watching, so I'm not going to say what I want to say. But okay, here's the inside. Here's the guts. And there's the light, the current light that's out. Look into, make sure your wattage, 75 watts, type A. For those of you who saw the previous video, yes, the same Sylvania bulbs worked, and they are type A. So it's off, and that is the most safe way to do it. When you take it out, make sure you don't electrocute yourself. So I took it out, and I'm placing the Sylvania bulb in, giving it a good twist, making sure it's tight, secure. Boom. All right, so it's in there. Now, turn on the light. Woo! Eureka. So it's working. Now we just got to put everything back to normal. Just kind of showing you it looks good. All right, so the bulb, the washer, and then the tip. This is just kind of showing you guys the breakdown. The bulb, then you put the washer, Then lastly, the tip. You just want to tighten it and make sure it's good to go. And that's how it should look. And there it is. Listen, thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, I'm going to do any home improvements I can do to teach or give a lesson. I definitely will. But please subscribe, comment, and thanks again for watching. Take care.